Hi all, in this video we will try to understand the impact of Ketu Mahadasha and Mars Antardasha. So generally Ketu Mahadasha lasts for 7 years. So Maharshi Parashara considered human life as 120 years, in that he allocated 7 years for Ketu. So based on the ratios, like Ketu is given 7 years, Venus is given 20 years, like that if you consider all the planets and their corresponding ratios, like 7 by 120 for Ketu, 20 by 120 for Venus, like that if you consider the ratios based upon those ratios, right. So in the 7 years of Ketu Mahadasha, Mars Antardasha is actually for 5 months based on the ratios. We will try to discuss how 5 months is allocated for Mars Antardasha in the 7 years of Ketu Mahadasha in some other video, right. So that is actually based upon the ratios, how much ratio Mars actually takes, right. So now the main concern here in this video is about Ketu Mahadasha and Mars Antardasha. So Ketu, which is a planet of spirituality and detachment, and also if it is positive can give a lot of abundance and success, is actually very good in the Kendra houses 1, 4, 7, 10 or the trine houses 5, 9 according to Maharshi Parashara. So Ketu generally, it is planet of detachment. It gives more preference to spirituality and detachment from all the relationships, whether it is spouse or children or mother, father, whatever, brothers. So it gives you a kind of the energy is something like you feel very spiritual, you feel like balding your head, you feel like detaching from your even you don't much connect with your relationships basically in the Ketu Mahadasha, right. So that is the fundamental thing, and if Ketu is in the 1, 4, 7, 10 or 5, 9, it is going to give some good results. It is also going to give some abundance. And Mars, which is a planet of force, planet of strength, planet of energy, right, planet of anger, planet of passion, right. So this is also good according to your ascendant, right. If you consider, let us say, Sagittarius ascendant, Mars is a very beneficial planet. And if you consider Capricorn ascendant, for Capricorn ascendant it is even more beneficial, right. So for Aquarius ascendant also it is okay, it can be a bit comfortable, not like Sagittarius ascendant and Capricorn ascendant, but it is okay kind of planet for Aquarius ascendant. And for Pisces ascendant, of course, it is also a beneficial planet, right, okay kind of planet, beneficial. So for Aries ascendant, of course, it is one of the excellent planets, you can say. And for Taurus ascendant, it is a malefic planet. And for Gemini ascendant, it is of course a good planet. And for Cancer ascendant, it is basically the best planet for Cancer ascendant. It is one of the most beneficial planets for Cancer ascendants, for Cancer ascendant people. For Leo ascendant, if you observe, it is also a very good planet for Leo ascendant people, right. And for Virgo ascendant, it is a malefic. And for Libra ascendant people also it is a bit beneficial, good. For Scorpio ascendant people, Mars can give mixed results. So this is the whole idea. So now you can understand, so whenever a Mahadasha and Antardasha starts basically, right, so the significations of Antardasha Lord come into the picture more. Antardasha Lord is a player of the game, and what are the significations, means to which houses this particular Antardasha Lord, here our Antardasha Lord is Mars, right, to which significations this particular Antardasha Lord is connected is very much important. And these significations, let us say Mars is connected to something like 10th and also it's connected to 5, right? So then if it is connected to 5 comma 10, what we expect? Okay, 10 is related to profession, 10 is your karma, 5th is your love life, it's your bachelor degree, it's your creation, it's progeny, your children, right? So 5th house is solution to a disease also. So when Mars is connected to 5 comma 10, then you generally say, okay, the 5 comma 10 significations are going to be fructified in the Mars Antardasha if and only if Mars is a benefic planet for you, right? Otherwise it is going to give trouble in those areas, 5 comma 10, right? Now one more important thing we need to consider is the distance between the Mahadasha Lord and the Antardasha Lord. If let us say Ketu is in the 4th house and Mars is in the let us say 6th house, then the distance between Ketu and Mars is 3, right? From the Mahadasha Lord, Mars is present at at a distance of 3 houses. So 3 houses may not be, the 3 may not be very much great, but of course it gives some kind of mixed results. And if let us say between the Mahadasha Lord and the Antardasha Lord, if the distance is 4, then it is a bit more beneficial, we say, right? But this is of course a general trend, we say. So based upon the house in which it is placed, it is very much important. Let us say Ketu is in the 8th house. Just imagine the painful events that the person is going to experience in the Ketu Mahadasha. And let me tell you one thing, you may think Ketu is in your 8th house by seeing your Rashi chart, but it may not be very correct. You just please consider the Kaspal chart, the KP Kaspal chart, the Krishnamurti Paddhati's the Kaspal chart, that is the more accurate chart. So it shows the correct house where your Ketu is present, right? That is one fundamental and important thing. Sorry. So maybe your Ketu is present in the 8th house, let us say, right, in the Rashi chart. But if you see your KP Kaspal chart, it may get shifted to the 9th house, or it may get shifted to the 7th house, right? So that's why KP Kaspal chart is very much important, and the house placements are always based upon the KP Kaspal chart only, because that is the most accurate chart, because the signs you're seeing, right, they are not the exact signs. You always find all the signs like Aries 30 degrees, Taurus 30 degrees, that is fine, right? That is fine. But the house significations, a house may not be of 30 degrees, it can be of 40 degrees also, right? A house may not be of 30 degrees, it can be of 25 degrees also, right? So that is the truth of KP Kaspal chart. So better you consider KP Kaspal chart, so that sometimes your house can extend till 60 degrees or 55 degrees also. So the houses, the concept of houses is different, and the concept of Rashi is different. Rashi is 30 degrees always, but the house, right, in general in the Rashi chart we consider house is also of 30 degrees and Rashi is also of 30 degrees, which is not correct, right? So better you consider the KP Kaspal chart, which considers the uneven distribution of houses. Now, so here let us say your Ketu is in the 4th house. Generally we say Ketu is good in the 4th house, right? But one more important point here is your nakshatra lord, because every planet works for its nakshatra lord. That is a fundamental thing in astrology, right? So if Ketu is sitting in the 4th house, let us say in which nakshatra it is sitting. Let us say it is sitting for Sagittarius ascendant, Ketu is sitting in the Pisces in the Revati nakshatra, first pada, let us say. Revati nakshatra lord is Mercury. So here dignity of Mercury is very much important, right? Because every planet works for its nakshatra lord. So Ketu sitting in the 4th house and the Pisces in Revati nakshatra is actually working for Mercury's significations, right? So if Mercury is sitting in the 8th house, let us say, then Ketu has to work for 8th house first, not for 4th house. 4th house also it works, but it is it is going to give less preference for 4th house because its nakshatra lord is sitting in the 8th house. So nakshatra lord is very much important, where it is sitting. Let us say Mercury is sitting in the 8th house, then Ketu has to work for 8th house primarily, and then Ketu has to work for Mercury own houses. Mercury own houses here are 7, 10, because for Sagittarius ascendant, let us say in the KP cuspal chart also you're just seeing 7th house as, you know, the Mercury house, and the 10th cusp is also a Mercury one, right? So 7, 10. So what is the first preference for Ketu here? First preference is 8th house, and second preference is 7, 10, because those are the own houses of nakshatra lord. And then third preference is given to where Ketu is sitting, that is 4th house. And the next preference is given for the Ketu own houses. Ketu does not have any own houses. Of course, some people say Ketu has own house as Scorpio, some people say Pisces, some people say Sagittarius. So many discussions, but in the ancient Indian scriptures, Ketu was not allocated any house, right? Any sign basically. Done. Now Ketu has to work for 8th house, 7th house, 10th house and the 4th house. These are the significations of Ketu. So whenever Ketu is activated, it is going to work on these matters, 8th house related matters, that is troubles, challenges, you know, pain, stress, pressure. And then it is going to work for 7, 10, that is marriage, legal bonding or partnership in the business. The 10th house is profession, your karma. And then 4th house. 4th house is your domestic life, the house where you are living in. It's related to property, real estate and the vehicles. And it is also bandhusthana, means it's the happiness that you get from your relatives. 4th house is your mother, means 4th house is all related to your mother, and 4th house is related to your mind, your emotional happiness. Your domestic life means the happiness that you're getting from the house that you're living in. Ketu, the 4th house is related to property, the property you buy, especially flats that you buy, the apartments or the individual houses that you buy. That is the 4th house. Even the agricultural lands. If Saturn is in the 4th house, generally, you know, people say you may buy a agricultural land, but you need to check there what is Saturn connected to, where it is present, means the nakshatra lord. Let us say Saturn is sitting in the 4th house, you may say the person may buy a property, buy a agricultural land, but what it is going to do finally? He is going to sell it off again, or he may get a lot of troubles in buying the land, the agricultural land itself, right? That can be checked if you know the dignity of the nakshatra lord. That is very much important. The dignity of nakshatra lord is very much important, because every planet basically works for its nakshatra lord. If Saturn is sitting in the 4th house and it is sitting in, let us say, Hasta nakshatra, for Gemini ascendant, Saturn is sitting in the Virgo sign in the Hasta nakshatra. Now you may say the person is going to buy agricultural land, but Saturn is sitting in the Hasta nakshatra, so the dignity of moon is very much important. If moon is somehow connected to the 8th house, then the person is going to face a lot of troubles related to agricultural lands if he is interested in buying or selling them off, right? So these are the fundamental things. The nakshatra lord's dignity is very much important. Now in our example, the Sagittarius ascendant, Ketu is sitting in the 4th house, that is in the Revati nakshatra, whose nakshatra lord is Mercury, and he is sitting in the 8th house. So this Ketu is actually here to give painful events for the person, because its nakshatra lord is directly placed in the 8th house, right? Now you need to check the dignity of the Mars here. Let us say Mars is sitting in the 6th house. For Sagittarius ascendant, Mars is a benefic planet. Being a benefic planet and sitting in the 6th house, it loses its strength to an extent, right? So now Mars is sitting in the 6th house. So now you need to check to which houses it is actually working for. Mars is sitting in the 6th house, let us say in the sign of Taurus. Let us say Mars is sitting in the Kritika nakshatra, right? Kritika nakshatra, 2, 3, 4 padas are in Taurus, or in the KP cuspal chart also you can see Mars is sitting in the Kritika nakshatra only. Now Mars has to work for Sun now. Now Sun's dignity is very much important, where Sun is sitting. Let us say Sun is sitting in something like 12th house. Just imagine Mars is going to work for 12th house here. Mars is sitting in the 6th house. Now this particular Mars which is sitting in the 6th house is actually sitting in the Kritika nakshatra. So where Sun is present, that is very much important. Sun is present in the 12th house, and here Sun is the lord of the 9th house also, right? Because for Sagittarius ascendant, the 9th house is actually the Leo. Let us say 9th cusp is also falling in the Leo sign, right? Now 9th signification is coming into the picture and the 12th house. So the primary importance for Mars here is 12, because Sun, its nakshatra lord, Kritika nakshatra lord, is sitting in the 12th house. So 12 is coming into the picture in the first place, and in the second place 9 is coming into the picture, right? And in the third place, as Mars is sitting in the 6th house, it has to work for 6th house, so 6 is coming into the picture. Now Mars has own houses, the 5, 12, right? Now 5, 12 are coming into the picture. Now basically in the Mars Antardasha, Mars is the player, and Ketu is the master here. Now what Mars works here is all its significations. What are the Mars significations here? 6, because it is sitting in the 6th house, but the primary signification is where its nakshatra lord is present. Its nakshatra lord, that is Sun, is sitting in the 12th house and is also the owner of 9th house. So 12 is the first preference, 9 is the second preference, 6 is the third preference, and 5, 12, which are own houses of Mars, are the fourth preference, right? Now for 9, that is 12, 9, 12, 9, and then 6 and 5, 12. These are the connections of Mars. Now what happens? So Mars has to work for 12, 9, which are a very good combination for foreign connection. So in the Ketu Mahadasha, in the Mars Antardasha, the person can go to the foreign lands for sure, right? Because Mars is a benefic planet for Sagittarius ascendant, even though it is sitting in the 6th house, it is actually it is sitting in the Kritika nakshatra, whose lord is Sun, and Sun is actually responsible for 12, 9, because Sun is sitting in the 12th house, is the owner of 9th house. 12, 9, 12 is the foreign land connection, and 9 is also related to the luck, and it is also having some foreign land connection. So the person will go to the foreign land for sure. And 6th house here, even though Mars is sitting in the 6th house, even though it is having less strength, but still, right, less strength in the sense where any planet which is sitting in the 6th house will lose its strength to an extent. But here this Mars is very much benefic for Sagittarius ascendant. So what happens is this particular Mars is also it helps the person in loan repayment, because 6th house is also related to the loan repayment, right? So very good, the person will go to the foreign land and the person will earn more and loan repayment is done. And this particular Mars is also the significator of 5, 12. So 12 is very much strong here because Sun is also sitting in the 12th house. So the person will definitely go to the foreign land. That is one thing. Now so this is the game of Mars now. This game must be approved by Ketu, because Ketu is the Mahadasha lord. Now what Ketu is doing? Ketu is sitting in the 4th house, and it is actually sitting in the Revati nakshatra. Its nakshatra lord Mercury is sitting in the 8th house, so 8th is coming into the picture, and also the 7, 10 coming into the picture, because Mercury is the lord of 7, 10, and Ketu is sitting in the 4, so 4 is coming into the picture. So what is this? 4. So 8, 7, 10, 8, 7, 10, 4. 8, 7, 10, 4. So Ketu is going to approve only 8, 7, 10, 4. Only these energies it is going to approve. But what Mars is saying is, Mars is saying 12, 9 and also the 6, the 5, 12. But Ketu is going to approve. Ketu is going to approve this particular 8, 7, 10 and 4. So if the energies of the Antardasha Lord is not in alignment with the Mahadasha Lord, then the things of the Antardasha Lord may not be fructified, right? So here Ketu is asking 8. So give him the troubles, give him the pressure, give him the research orientedness, or give him more transformation. Ketu is telling that. Ketu is telling give him 7, 10. So 7 is marriage and 10 is profession. Give him profession, give him marriage. Ketu is telling 4. So give him something related to property, right? Now what Mars is doing here? Mars is telling Ketu that I will send him to foreign lands. I will try to give him a job, because Mars sitting in the 6th house. 6th house is also the significator of first job. 6th house is also a significator of service orientedness. I will make him more service oriented. I will give him job. I will also send him to foreign lands. I will give him luck. I will also give him 5, 12, which is nothing but foreign land, and if he is not having children, I will try to give children also. But here Ketu is nowhere telling about the children. So obviously this Mars cannot give children, but this Mars can send him to foreign lands and give him pleasure, because Ketu is telling him to give pleasure, right? So this Mars can send the person to the foreign lands and give him the pleasure, and also Ketu is telling give him some property. So by sending to foreign lands, the person may earn, and he is going to buy some property in the homeland or in the foreign land, and he is going to do loan repayment also, right? And Ketu is telling Mars to give him marriage, but Mars is not here for marriage. Mars is nowhere connected to marriage, so Mars cannot give marriage, right? Mars cannot give marriage here, because Mars is mainly connected to 9, 12, 6 and 5, 12. So Mars here can send the person to foreign lands and give him some property and do the loan repayment stuff, thereby some stress and pressure, because Ketu is asking Mars to give him some pressure, right? So this is how the interaction happens. So this is the energy present in this particular horoscope that we discussed so far. Thanks for watching this video.